Hey everybody, welcome back to Trinity Dairy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out our merch store if you're interested in any of our merchandise. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Today is May 23rd, 2024. It's a beautiful day out, sunny. It's like 66 degrees, so it's just a wonderful day. We had some rain come through. First, I want to say that we want to offer up our thoughts and prayers with everybody who had those severe tornadoes and stuff go through in Iowa and a stretch through there. That there was some terrible damage, and I know there were some people that were hurt and killed, so our thoughts and prayers are with them. But the rain that we got was kind of out of that same storm. We didn't have any damage, anything like that. There was areas not far from us that got some flooding, I think. Some places got like 4 inches of rain. But I didn't have a gauge out. I think we probably got around 2 inches. And on this sandy ground here, you can kind of hard to even tell. I mean, it was definitely needed and appreciated, but it set off our planting a couple days. I did go out yesterday, took the planter out. I got a field across the road about 4 or 5 acres and tried to plant, but it was a mess. It was clogging up. It was following the fertilizer discs up and plugging the tubes, and the depth control wheels on the planter were building up. So I just did my outside rounds and it was giving trouble, and I lifted up and pulled out of there for the day. So we're gonna head back out there now and try it today. It was super windy yesterday and it was sunny, and it's sunny today, so I think it's definitely dry enough to go out there and plant. I know there was one spot down in the bottom end I almost got stuck yesterday, but we got around that now, so we should be good to go there. I've got the planter. Normally I have it on the 1256. I got it on the 830 case today, just because I've still got the 1256 on the plow. I have one other small piece to plow, just a corner where we were cutting that logs along that field Paul was plowing. So I didn't want to take it off yet. I had to take the one off the 1256, the pull type plow, to put on the disc. So that's on the disc. The 12 still on the plow, so we put the 830 on here. It does fine. It's not really anything wrong with it other than it's a little harder to get in and out of the cab, but it's not a big deal. And then I put the planter in the shed. So when I put it in the shed, I have to pull the marker arms out of the tubes. So I got to stick those back in quick, and then we'll go over and see if we can plant. There we go, got those back on. Goes pretty quick. This one's a little bit more of a pain because that yellow arm is bent a little bit, so you got to tap on it a little, but not too bad. So anyway, we'll head over there and get started. Well, it's definitely much drier than it was yesterday. It doesn't seem like it's caking up on the wheels at all. I mean, a little bit, but a lot of this was on here from yesterday. It just hasn't worn off, because this one I cleaned off pretty good and it's good to go. So let's make sure we got seed coming out. Oh yeah, there's one. What'd you find in the dirt, Yosh? A wrench?
It's like a crank or something.
Oh, it's an old drill.
Oh,
that's probably been out there for 100 years.
Probably. That's it. It's cool.
Found all kinds of old treasures in this old pasture.
First, me and Dad found a disc. There's with a barbed wire. It's straight up and down. Oh, Dad, I noticed some corn growing. Yeah. On the long road. Yeah. Where one of the corn box hit the ground.
There's one.
Look, there's even got the little driveway. Here you go, Yosh. What? I don't know where you want to put it. I want to use the quick turn. Poppy just bought one of those. Yeah.
There.
Is it a wrench one or a drill one? I guess I don't remember. I think it was a drill one. I cleaned it out by doing this.
And there's one.
Feels like a single. That one?
Yep. All right. Well, seeding on all four. We'll keep on going.
Put the crown down. Back up a little bit. So, if you're wondering where we are and who is the cameraman for today, well, the cameraman for today is me. And where we are is across the farmyard. So over there, somewhere, I think, somewhere in the trees is the farm. And we're right here. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Just planting corn for 2024. I don't know if you guys know what that is right there, but it's the 1066 International. Yep. I'm trying to keep the camera footage as not too bumpy as possible. This field's got some rough spots in it, so try not to hit those. Mosquitoes are out today, so trying to not get eaten alive by them. Piece of plastic. That shouldn't go in there. Come down here, see if we can get a little more footage. Oh, you got a puddle over here. That's nice. Really nice. Dad said he almost got stuck last night when he was making the first rounds because he said it was too muddy. Whoa. I can see what he meant. My foot is down here and this is the mud right here. That's pretty deep. And he's gonna go turn around up there. It's a Beautiful day outside. Perfect day for planting corn.
Well, there, we got that piece done. I don't have anything else quite ready to seed yet, so we're just gonna, I think the rest of this corn getting planted is gonna have to get just done between rain days, because it kind of looks like you got a day or two and then a shot of rain. So I don't want to get too much ground ready to plant and then have a bunch of it get rained on and get crusty or something and have to get reworked again. So we're just going to kind of work it up as we get it planted. With these seeding videos we've been doing with the oats and the corn, get a lot of comments. People talking about, you know, when they grew up back in the 50s, 60s, the different equipment they use, the planters and the drills and stuff. So I was going to kind of show you, we've got a lot of the old machinery around here from back in the day. It's gotten scrapped out by now. Some of it's still around, not getting used anymore, but it's still here. It's probably on the list to get scrapped, but hasn't quite got that far yet. But I figured I'd show it to you, a couple pieces here, and give you a little of the history on it that I know. So here's their grain drill. This was a Minneapolis Moline. I don't ever remember this being used. My whole life it's been parked here. Been some parts robbed off of it over time, some disc openers and whatnot. But one story on it, my grandpa was telling me about it that was kind of neat and maybe a little bit unique, was this platform on the back. So this originally had brackets to put like a, you know, 2x8 or 2x10 to stand on the back here. They had this piece of plywood on here and they had it chained up, and what that was for, they'd have some seed on there and then they'd stand on there, and they had one of those hand crank broadcast grass seeders that you wore kind of strapped over your shoulder, and you cranked it, and then every other round with the drill they would stand on there and crank that, and that's how they seeded their alfalfa down, and then go over it with a roller after. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then when he got a different drill after that, that one had grass seeder on it, so they didn't use that one anymore. And I don't know where that machine came from. Like I said, my whole life it's been sitting there, but it's kind of a neat little story on that. And in the corn planter, somebody had mentioned when I was talking about the monitor not working, like back in the 50s, the old planters that they had, that's what they would do, is just lift them up at the end of the row and make sure they were all seeding. So I thought I'd show you this planter here, and it's International or McCormick, I guess. It's been sitting here in this spot for probably 30 years, but this was the planter they were still using. I was probably about 6 or 7 years old when they quit using this. We went to a 1250 John Deere 6-row from this, but it still worked when it got parked here. But this came from my grandpa had cousins down in southwestern Minnesota, and they would go down there pheasant hunting, and then when they'd come back, they'd pick up old machinery that they had retired down there because it got too small, and they'd bring it up here and use it. So this was one of those pieces. They had 2 of these. One was a mechanical lift, this one was hydraulic lift. I think the other one they just used for parts. But yeah, this was one of those. They had an International 2-row pull type corn picker when I was a little kid. That also came from down there. Yeah, they'd go down there, and whatever was sitting off in their grove that they had no longer used, they'd buy it and bring it up here. And it was a pretty big piece of equipment up here at the time when they got that. And that one, I don't know that they ever used it up here with check row corn, but it is set up, you could run check rows with it. But I thought that was kind of just interesting to show those little pieces. And I definitely, when you talk about some of that older equipment, I know what you're talking about, because like I said, I think I was about 6 or 7, they were still using that. There was another, we used to have the old silo filler or blower. It wasn't the silo filler for bundles, it was just for blowing silage, but that was belt driven. I remember them running that with the flat belt and the old rear unload wagons yet. And that was, probably did that up until 90, 91 before they got the Gale high throw blower. So I've been around some of that old stuff, but kind of neat to put a little bit of that on here, and before it gets hauled off so you kind of remember it. But anyway, we're going to probably wrap this video up. I'm going to have to get going here pretty soon. I just got a call, little 820 John Deere's ready. The front crankshaft seal was leaking oil and the water pump was leaking, so he got those fixed. So I might run over this afternoon and get that brought home and get another horse back in the fleet. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Maybe we should have named her Lindsay. We should have taken Lady instead of Sally. Because then she was, he said she was a sis.
That would be the first phase group. Second phase group would be the two outline recorders. Here we don't have memory systems to look at, but they're both very similar with each other in terms of they're very quality shows in terms of their smoothness in the front end, their overall gear strength, the width in that run. Just wait to see the impression. It gets a